Last season, many had predicted the Boston Celtics winning the NBA championship, and they were right. However, there comes a season when someone totally unexpected takes over in the playoffs and gets all the way to that Larry O'Brien trophy. In a more recent story, we've had the Dallas Mavericks in 2011 against the heavily favored LeBron James and the Heat, and Toronto Raptors beating the Warriors in 2019. Also, Miami Heat in 2023 had an epic postseason run, being the 8th seed in the East. No one gave them a chance against the number 1 Bucks, then the 5th seeded Knicks, and the 2nd seeded Celtics. Still, they grinded their way through the entire conference, and if the Nuggets weren't such a powerhouse that season, who knows what might have been. Hello basketball fans, and welcome to Hoop Vision. In today's video, we'll talk about potential dark horses for the 2024 and 25 season, and not just the teams, but the MVP candidates as well. Every season proves to be a breakthrough for some players, so we'll see who has the best chances for making 2025 their year. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Takes only a second, costs nothing, and will give you access to more basketball stories. Number 1, the New York Knicks. Last season, New York matched the projected expectations. Everyone thought their ceiling was either the second round or losing to Boston in the conference finals. If they managed to get past Indiana, we doubt the outcome could have been any different against the Celtics. However, things are not the same this year. Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle aren't the only ones leading the charge anymore. The addition of Mikal Bridges gives the Knicks so much value on both ends, and their chemistry will be off the charts with 4 of their guys previously playing together at Villanova. Brunson and Dante DiVincenzo were roommates at college, which explains why they understand each other so well on the court. Josh Hart has also stated numerous times how he's happy to be playing for New York, and now that Bridges is locked in, everything seems to be going in place for the Knicks to make that push for the title. Back in 2016, the 4 of them went on to have a 35-5 regular season record and won the NCAA tournament by upsetting Oklahoma in the semis and North Carolina in the finals, so you see why it's not impossible seeing them do the same again. Number 2, Phoenix Suns. Yes, we know what you might think at first, but hear us out. When this Phoenix Suns team was put together, they were supposed to be an offensive nightmare for the rest of the league, which on paper, they still are. The main problem for them turned out to be a lack of a true point guard, defense, and if we're being honest, team chemistry. Not in the way of superstars fighting each other, but in terms of everyone being on the same page about winning. This summer might have changed that. If you remember the Suns' loss to the Wolves, you also probably remember Anthony Edwards trash-talking KD and him just smiling back looking like a proud dad. As much as it was a wholesome moment, that's not what you want to see from a player that's supposed to be hungry to win. This year, KD might come back with more motivation to win because he's felt it again at the Olympics. He might have needed a reminder he's still that guy who can have an almost perfect offensive night like he did against Serbia. Devin Booker also played a huge role for the USA team and got so many praises from Coach Kerr, which will probably boost his confidence going into the season. Add their new coach, Budenholzer, who's probably on a vengeance campaign for what the Bucks did to him, and you have a team to worry about. If Beal comes back fully healthy, their situation is solvable with one good trade in the middle of the season, and the Suns could actually pull off what they planned in the first place. Number 3, Dallas Mavericks. You might ask why Dallas is on this list since they've made the finals, but the reason is that many people from basketball media have openly said it was a fluke, and they have no chance doing the same this season. Now, the Klay trade might have been a gamble considering his past 2 years with the Warriors, but what people also don't understand is how much of the game is mental, and he wasn't feeling good playing there anymore. Changing environments could revamp Klay into being an offensive threat he once was, and him hitting those open three-pointers Dallas was missing left and right could mean actually having a shot against a team like Boston. Luka being in the MVP conversations for years, Kyrie finally having a home after episodes with the Celtics and the Nets, and Lively entering only his 2nd year give the Mavs plenty of reasons to still be confident when it comes to championship hopes. Number 4, Golden State Warriors. Since winning the chip in 2022,
it might be his 4th, but it means so much.
The Warriors haven't been the same. Some say Draymond ruined everything by punching Poole, and they're probably right. In 2023, they suffered a 2nd-round exit against the Lakers. In 2024, it was heartbreaking to see the once mightiest team struggling to reach the playoffs. In 2025, things may be different for the same reason Phoenix has a chance, and that was the Olympics. Curry has shown us he's not done yet. He can still take over games and put you to sleep, but he needs someone to maintain the game close when he can't can't do it himself. This summer, he had LeBron and KD to do it, the help you cannot replicate in the league. Still, if Wiggins can wake up and do half the job those two are doing, the Warriors might have a chance with additional help of Moody, Looney, Buddy Hield, Podziemski, and if he doesn't knock out someone, Draymond. The big factor is the fact everyone would love to play with Curry, so there's a possibility Warriors make a trade during the season and improve their roster significantly. If Wiggins comes through and Draymond starts with his antics again, Golden State's front office might come up with trading Green for pieces that could actually make an improvement. This isn't the most likely of the scenarios, but not impossible, and the reason why we love sports in the first place. Number 5, Oklahoma City Thunder. Only time will tell if trading for Alex Caruso was an improvement for this OKC team. We say this not because he's a bad player, he definitely brings a lot to this roster in terms of both defense and experience, but the final grade of this trade will be determined by Josh Giddey. If he turns out to be even worse in Chicago, then OKC made the right move. If he has a breakthrough, then they'll probably kick themselves in the butt. Still, this puts OKC in a weird position. They've made an improvement, but they're still not in that same, almost unbeatable echelon like the Celtics. It'll be interesting to see how much they've matured from the loss against the Mavs, and whether Shea will have another MVP year. If the Thunder do things right and keep their core over the years, they'll be one of the most fun teams to watch in the entire NBA. Now that we've gone through the dark horses among teams, let's go to players who could be joining the MVP race. Number 1, Anthony Edwards. Seeing Ant-Man on this list probably doesn't come off as a big surprise. He may not put up big numbers at the Olympics, but he's shown something much more important: maturity. Edwards understood the assignment. This USA team was all about LeBron, Curry, and KD having their last showdown, so he played accordingly. The humbleness he showed during a podcast with KD is the main reason why he's promising to be the MVP of this league in the future. And if all stars align perfectly, that may even come in the 24 and 25 season. The skills are there, and the maturity seems to have increased as well, so the Ant has some pretty fair chances of becoming the league's most valuable player. Number 2, Jalen Brunson. Knowing that the Knicks are labeled as the biggest threat to the Celtics this year, it's only logical they dethrone the champion by having their best player perform at the MVP level. Last season, Brunson averaged 28.7 points per game while shooting 40% from 3. We may see that increase now that they have so many offensive options, which will be a huge deal for the Knicks spacing. Helping the defender playing Jalen one-on-one will be almost impossible, as he'll have so many passes to dish out, which means we might see his stats go crazy, possibly enough to the point he adds the MVP award next to his name. Number 3, Paolo Banchero. Last year was Orlando's first playoff appearance with the new, young roster, and if that Game 7 went differently, reaching the second round in their first try would be a nice achievement to build on for the next seasons. Paolo Banchero may not be the flashiest player out there, but there's something about him leading that Magic team that reminds us of LeBron leading the Cavs in the earliest days of his career. It might be a reach, but if Banchero improves a lot the next season, and we see Orlando ending up within the top 3 seeds, we might see Magic have the MVP for the first time in franchise's history. Number 4, Ja Morant. This man almost got forgotten by the league. It seems like he's been away forever, and him coming back means basketball is coming back to Memphis. Without Ja, they weren't even in the playoffs contention, but with him healthy, and hopefully the rest of the roster too, the Grizzlies are no joke in the West. Ja could be the guy with the least chances on this list, but it just wouldn't feel right if he was left out. If Memphis takes the high seed this season, there's only one guy who will be responsible for that, and to do that, he'll have to play on the MVP level in the stacked as ever Western Conference. Number 5, Devin Booker. The argument for Booker being the MVP is the same as the Suns winning the title. Could happen, but requires so many pieces to fit in together perfectly. Devin has been one of the best shooting guards in the league for years, and it's no coincidence Coach Kerr was praising him out of everyone on that USA roster. Book's talent is unique. It's just that he needs to regain that same mentality that got him to scoring 70 points in a single game and reaching the NBA Finals. If Booker revives his career and turns towards being more of a playmaker than just pure scorer, the Suns could definitely be one of the biggest threats in the league and maybe, just maybe, produce the 24 and 25 NBA most valuable player. That's it for today, Hoop Fam. We hope you've enjoyed this video. Let us know in the comments, who do you think will win the championship in 2025 and which player could be the league's MVP. Thank you for watching and growing this channel. Make sure you don't miss out on more NBA stories by hitting that subscribe button. See you in the next one.